And as always, your views and comments are welcome on this show. Look for us on our social media handles. Join News on Facebook and on Twitter. You can also send us a tweet with the hashtag The Pulse. We will be glad to share your thoughts with the rest of the world. Once again, you're welcome. My name is Francis Aban. Now, the Ghana Health Service has announced yet another outbreak of cholera in the central region. Nearly 160 cases have been reported at health facilities in the central region. The Director of Public Health Services at the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Bedu Sarkodie, confirmed at a news conference today. According to him, the first outbreak was recorded on October 21, 2016 at the University of Cape Coast Hospital. He said investigations and further diagnostic tests indicate that as of 1st November, just yesterday, a total of 157 cases have been recorded with no one dead yet.
As at yesterday, on the 1st of November 2016, we have recorded 157 cases with no death, that is 0 death. And nobody through this has lost his or her life. This is a good sign, and you have to do best to sustain this one to make sure that the case, people report early, then the various management activities are also well done. So there's no death on the situation for now.
We know Cape Coast is one of the cholera-prone areas. What is being done to address the situation?
I will start by everybody first look at what the health sector is doing. But indeed, what brings about cholera mostly lie outside the purview and the domain of the health sector. We would be at the receiving end, the cases will be coming, then you pick them and manage. But then indeed, to say that we have to say no to cholera, there's a need to enhance public education for the people to know what causes it, that is one. There's a need to improve personal hygiene. There's a need to improve environmental sanitation. Things like indiscriminate defecation at the beaches must cease. And that will also require provision of toilet facilities by the various assemblies, metros, MDAs, so that the people, as they eat, of course, they have to respond to nature's call. And when they have to do that, there will be appropriate facility to get that.
Okay, but Doc, why does it always look like we have to, year by year, we have to come back to the same issues? Is it that we are missing out something?
You're not missing out anything, but an issue with attitudinal change takes some time. And as much as possible, as you are doing best to influence the people to change their way and lifestyle. It goes with logistics, it goes with other infrastructure, and these have to be put in place. And as much as possible, what we do at the health sector is to let other sectors also appreciate their role in the prevention aspect of the condition, doing things.
Okay, but Doc, how many of these cholera centers have you put up in these facilities at Cape Coast to contain this outbreak?
I'll mention that the legacy that the Ebola left with us, we didn't record any cases, but then we were doing best to enhance our preparedness. And what I can say is the regions and districts have some area of isolation centers for now. So these facilities are there, and it's when necessary that you activate that facility present. So for now, the epicenter is in Cape Coast Metropolis, and the cases are reporting to the teaching hospital and then the regional hospital. They call it Interbeton. And these are the areas that we have the centers activated.
Okay. For one region alone to record 157 cases within a period of 1 month and all that, what is being done in the other regions like Accra and other places to ensure that we don't experience that here?
Right. Indeed, our preparedness last year and this year was focusing on Accra here specifically. We've had cases at Cape Coast. Greater Accra earlier in the year, I think reported, even this year, reported one case. That quickly, the intervention contained it, and it didn't spread beyond that single case. That should be the spirit. And as much as you are doing best, should it happen, you should pick it early, investigate, respond, and then...
But do these facilities have what it takes to manage all these cases?
That is a part of preparedness, and preparedness is a process. And Greater Accra here, preparedness has, in fact, the specific cholera treatment centers that we planned 5 years in Accra, and these have been completed. I think 4 of them or so. But then...
Where are these 4?
A large general hospital at Adabraka. There was one in Kolebu which hasn't gone too far. I mentioned Adabraka, Ga West. And so these are centered at areas, placed at areas that we had this mass, a number of cases during the 2014. The assumption that maybe the gem had been seeded, and then possibly, should anything happen, these are the areas that we should find it. But then this telling us that cholera can start from anywhere, and all the regions and districts should be on alert. And even if things are optimal, the case also may be imported in, and because it can spread through water and food chain. If you don't heighten awareness, you don't heighten our surveillance systems, it's possible that if you become complacent, you may be taken on the wrong footing.
Cholera is with us in the country today. We know that from the central region, the precautionary measures should be that be careful wherever you are across this country, because once there's an outbreak in one region, there's every chance it could spread to other regions. Never mind the health ministry doing the best they can to get the situation under control. Being safe is the first thing to do. Ensure you eat food that is warm. Also, keep your surroundings clean. Ensure that there are no fecal matter anywhere around your house. When you're eating, make sure the food is warm. Water you drink, make sure it's clean enough. And yes, don't forget to wash your hands under running water with soap. Prevention is better than cure. Meanwhile, the health ministry is unsure when monies are going to be made available for the running of the Accra Psychiatric Hospital. Deputy Health Minister Dr. Victor Bampo, who spoke at a news conference, said the ministry is working with the Finance Ministry for the release of funds, but cannot tell exactly when they will be made available. He also reacted to stories suggesting that the president is unaware of the situation at the Accra Psychiatric Hospital.
We are hopeful that very shortly this will be brought to an end, because we recognize the importance of the psychiatric hospital and the work that they do. So it's something that is engaging our utmost attention, and it will be addressed in the shortest possible time. That's why I'm saying that this is not the purpose. We don't want to divert. This is actually to brief you on cholera. So at the appropriate time, we will talk about the psychiatric nurses. We know that it is something of national concern or national importance. So very shortly, you'll hear from us on that. This issue about the president saying he's not been briefed, I think if you go back to the press conference that he gave, the question was very specific, and the answer was specific. He was asked about the strike, and he said he was not aware of the strike. That's not surprising, given that he was out in the field campaigning, and the strike was declared when he was not in the field. Then he went on to talk about the challenges in that sector in particular. How can somebody who is not aware of the challenges in the sector then talk about the challenges? I think it's important for us to be fair and to be objective in our reportage. That's number one. Number two, about whether he's been briefed. You see, the president has put a minister in place, he's put a deputy minister, he's put other people in place. That is our job. We're supposed to fix things. So it's not for the president to be the one dealing with cholera and dealing with this and that and the other. That's why we are there. And that's why we've called this press conference. That's why we're telling you what we've done, what we'll be doing. And in the same way, when it comes to the issue about the psychiatric nurses, we will also tell you what we've done, what the next steps are, and so on. Place to fix problems. It's not every challenge that we run to the president in real time with. There's division of labor. So when something happens today, It doesn't mean that he'll get to know about it today if his minister is in place to fix the problem. I hope I'm clear. So the fact that he has a phone is of incidental value, because maybe that is not the right time to brief him. There will be the time to brief him about this.
That's the response from the Health Ministry on that issue to do with the president and whether or not he knew the situation at the Accra Psychiatric Hospital. Now, for a lot of drivers in the capital, the congestion at the Kwame Nkrumah Circle was for a long time pretty much a nightmare. But now, commuters and drivers alike can heave that sigh of relief as work is almost complete on the new three-tier circle interchange. Ahead of its commissioning, work is speedily progressing on the mini Kwame Nkrumah Park close to the interchange. The park hosts a huge statue of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah and also boasts of some beautiful fountains and lights. The old bus terminal, which gets muddy after slight drizzles, will also give way to a new bus terminal. Join us, Maxwell Agbagba, visited the new interchange ahead of the commissioning in some few weeks and has come through with this report.
If it's been a long time that you visited the Kwame Nkrumah Circle, this is what the new three-tier Kwame Nkrumah interchange looks like. It is one that you need to see with your own eyes. The infrastructure and the construction of this beautiful edifice is one that you need to see for yourself. On my right-hand side is construction ongoing right now. It is a construction of a statue. That statue is done. It is a statue of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, the man who gave independence for Ghana. There's the Kwame Nkrumah Park here at the Circle Interchange. Authorities here would not allow us to take full footage of the place. They tell us that we should come later in the evening where they'll be doing a display of the beautiful lighting and fountains here at this park. But right behind me is a statue of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. It's positioned very well so that if you're in any part of the interchange, you can see it. Here at this park, contractors are busily working. We can see a lot of earth-moving machines right here. Well, we have some Ghanaians who are here just watching as the construction is going on. It looks like a tourist site for a lot of them.
That's what I say is wonderful thing. I will not see some in Africa. And your mama love Ghana, love Nkrumah too. So we believe that your mama is a good leader.
Very, very fantastic. I don't know what to say. If we are able to have every president who have a focus like this, so far, so good.
The new Circle Neoplant Station, or Donna Station to be specific, is going to be ready on the 15th of November. But let's go inside there and have interactions with the Secretary of the GPRTU Ordona branch. He's going to tell us exactly what this place is going to be like after the completion of the bus station. And I'm talking about the Ordona Lorry Station.
This is the only station in Accra here that runs 24 hours. So wherever you want to go, just pop into Circle, then we'll get your car to your destination. Yeah.
But some say that if you have all of those cars loading from here, it looks like this place is a bit small and will not be able to contain the huge number of trotros that we have.
You see, we've got a plan so that when we see that the place is going full, we've got a landing bay behind the local station. So we park some of the cars there.
Oh, okay. So not all the cars will park here?
So we call you when there's a space. Then they call you, they'll come and look, and you go.
The old lorry station, how bad is the place? Before getting this new one, how bad is the old lorry station?
You see, when it rains, in fact, it's a nice one. You see, so we thank the government for upgrading this place for us. We thank you very much.
For Joy News, Maxwell Agbagba.
I'm patiently waiting for that day when it will be fully commissioned so I can take a drive all throughout all the routes there at the Kwame Nkrumah Stadium, just to have that experience, how different it will be from what we've seen in the past. But great report there by Maxwell Awagba. We'll bring you more on that story later on. But speaking of the president, he's been busy today commissioning some other road projects in the capital here in Accra. Just Joseph Akable followed him today, brings us details now. Joseph, good afternoon to you. You were manning two places today, ironically, followed the president and also in the course. Let's begin with the president. We know that he commissioned the airport overpass.
The Airport Hills overpass. Airport Hills Bema Camp overpass.
Okay.
And also performed a groundbreaking ceremony for a flyover that will be over the Tema motorway.
Interesting. Now, what are some of the details you have on this? What kind of road are we talking about here, for those who may not know this one?
So it's about a 40-kilometer road, and the point the president is making is that it's very important to ease traffic congestion in the capital. So there's a road that leads towards airport, there's one that heads towards Bema Camp, another towards Teshi. And it all fits into an overall plan the president says is targeted at ensuring that people can move easily in the capital. He says road network is very crucial because people go about their everyday activities, they visit their homes, people also go to work, people move goods and across the capital. So it's important to have a good road network system in place. And in fact, he says in the next 2 years, his government, that is if he gets the nod again, intends to pump some 60 million cedis in road network. He has promised some 2 flyovers, apart from the one he commissioned today, another 2 over the motorway again. So you have just about 3 flyovers, all being over the motorway, one heading towards Ashaimai, another also heading all the way towards Adjengano. So the one moving towards Adjengano, what it will mean is that if you are moving from Bema Camp and you want to head all the way towards East Legon, you don't have to use any of the normal routes, you have to just use the flyover and move right into East Legon.
Sounds like good times ahead, but what did he have to say for himself beyond the roles that he wants to do? What are some of the things he said? I'm sure there's all part of the campaign, isn't it?
It was an official assignment, but I mean, obviously, if you listen to the way the president put out his message, you get the understanding that he's calling for some more votes. In fact, one of the chiefs who spoke there, the chief made a point that his road, even though the president has done very well, right in front of his palace, that road has not been constructed. And the president, when he mounted the platform, in his very first response, the first thing he said was that that road, he knows that road very well, and that they are coming to that road in the next few days. So that will also be addressed. So he talked about the fact that of the circle interchange that we had a report from Maxwell some few minutes ago. He said later within this month that particular interchange will also be commissioned. He says they are addressing the traffic situation in a holistic manner because they've had the experts examine it and they've realized that it's not just about constructing 1 or 2 roads or some interchanges. It has to fit into an overall plan that will ensure that the entire capital, in terms of movement of vehicles, is very easy. The interesting thing about the 60 million cedi one is that it's going to be funded by Ghana. He says they are not going in for loans. You know how, but a lot of times you have the
debates about roads and the money where we get it from, the loans and all. Let's hear from the president now speaking after commissioning this road.
I want to emphasize that with the 2 additional bridges, the Flower Pot Bridge and the bridge over the motorway, government is financing it with its own resources. We're building it by ourselves. We're not relying on donor funding. Government is building it with its own resources. The scope of the project involves the design and construction of a 105-meter span flyover across the Tema motorway with another 40-meter span bridge across the Spintex Road from Flower Pot Roundabout and vehicle interchange points between East Legon on the Shiashi Road. There are 2 more bridges we are going to do, and after we finish this bridge that I talked about, we're going to build another bridge across the motorway from Teshi Link across the motorway to Adjengano. And so if you're in Teshi, and you want to go to East Legon or Adjengano, you don't have to come back this way and come and cross. You can cross directly from Teshi to Adjengano and continue where you're going. And then we're going to build a third bridge. And that bridge is going to be across the motorway from Klagon to Ashaman. And so if you're coming from Sakumono or Bachona, instead of going through that cattle tunnel at Ashaman, there'll be a bridge across the motorway to go directly into Ashaman. And so those are the additional future works that we're going to do. Let me emphasize that the construction of the flyover will be done in such a way that it will not disrupt the traffic flow on either the motorway or the Spintex Road. While the bridges are being built, traffic will not be affected on any of the two roads, Spintex or motorway. And let me remind the Ministry of Roads and Highways and its Department of Urban Roads to ensure that the contractor and the consultants work to standards and specifications so that the Ghanaian taxpayer can get full value for money for the works that are going to be carried out here. It is also necessary that the new bridge maintenance unit set up by the Department of Urban Roads ensures that these flyovers are properly maintained. It's been estimated that these new works will be completed within the next 24 months. We expect that they will be earlier and at an estimated cost of a little above 60 million Ghana cedis.
So that's the president today speaking about the many more works that he seeks to do, flyovers in Accra, that will be interesting to look out for in the national capital, Accra. Joseph, as I mentioned just before we started, you've been busy today in two places. First, following the president, but earlier today you spent some time at the court. Let's begin with that case at the Supreme Court. What was the case in question and what happened in court today?
It had to do with Dr. Pakwesi Indom. You recall the High Court gave a ruling in his favor and the EC is challenging that decision at the Supreme Court. Today was day one. It was a request by the Electoral Commission for an abridgment of time to have the matter be heard early. So that motion was moved by the Electoral Commission's lawyer, Thaddeus Sori. It wasn't opposed by lawyer Iko. The only point he made was that they needed some more time to file their statement of case because he says after the ruling by the High Court, Dr. Indom has been visiting parts of the country and thanking people. So it's important that they give him some more time. So he wanted up until Tuesday to file the statement of case. But the judge disagreed. Justice Powerman was the only judge present today. But we understand a panel will be coming up later on. And he directed that by tomorrow noon, they should present their statement of case. Okay. Then the Electoral Commission is also supposed to have a look at it and present it VS by the close of day tomorrow, after which they will come back to court on Friday for the oral arguments to take place.
Okay, so it looks like what Mr. Aikoto wanted for next week has been pushed immediately to happen this week. Exactly. That's fine. But was Dr. Indom in court today?
He was in court.
What was he like?
Dr. Indom, there's this interesting aura around Dr. Indom. I mean, throughout the times I've encountered him in court, he doesn't seem so much bothered about the entire proceedings taking place. It was only during the initial time that he was a bit hesitant to speak. But it appears following the ruling from the High Court, he's more confident now. And this time I know we interacted with him. The point he kept making is that even when his case was in the High Court, and even before he took that matter to the High Court, he was visiting parts of the country, continuing with a goodwill message that he has for the people of Ghana. So he says he's not perturbed by this suit at the Supreme Court. He's very confident that the Supreme Court will agree with the decision of the High Court, and that is why he's still going around campaigning. And as we understand, even today, as we speak now, he's engaging the TUC, telling them about his ideas for the Labour Union.
Yeah, and we'll bring you an update on that meeting with Organised Labour here on the show sometime, because we know that that meeting has ended. We'll bring you the highlights of what they've been speaking about today at that all-important meeting. Remember, just 2 days ago, the MPP Flagbren and Akufo-Addo met Organised Labour, raised some concerns. The PPP also had their turn today. We'll bring you the details in just a moment. But, Joseph, that's for the PPP case at the Supreme Court. But at the High Court, we also know that there was another case between MIDA and some group of individuals who feel strongly that the process to get a private concessionaire to handle ECG, they disagree with. What happened in court with that case?
So it was an injunction application that they moved in court today. They are asking that the court restrains government from going ahead with the agreement. They have some concerns with the role of MIDA, and they are accusing MIDA of circulating a document in the name of Energy Commission, and for which reason they have the view that MIDA cannot be a trusted authority to undertake anything relating to the entire agreement. So they want the whole process to be halted. But the MIDA's lawyer, in the person of Jerry Day, he disagrees, and he points out that that particular document they are talking about, he says the lawyers for the gentlemen, Saka Salia, Richard Nyama, Ramadan, he said those guys are aware, their lawyers are aware that indeed a said document has been withdrawn and is no longer in circulation. So he doesn't understand why they've come to court on the basis of a document that is not an official document. He described it as a draft. document. It's not an official document. So he disagrees with them on that, and he's saying that the court shouldn't grant that injunction. They make the point that as it stands now, they've held up all discussions with regards to the concession agreement, because once an injunction application is made, it means effectively that you have to hold on the entire process. So they want the court to deny them the injunction to enable government go ahead with the agreement that they say will ensure that ECG becomes a viable energy producer that we expect them to be.
So when are we hearing, when are we getting a ruling on this application?
It will be November 15.
15 November. Okay. Thank you so much, Joseph Akable, for the two jobs you've done today covering the president and also the court cases. Thank you.
Thank you.